Happy Sunday, everyone. Well, I'm going to be working on cutting down these weeds right here. I guess they're called pokeweed. I really didn't know what they were. And so I've finally got them identified. And apparently I was supposed to cut them before they started getting berries. Oh well, better late than never. They are apparently toxic to mammals, but not to birds. I just dropped one of the berries on there, probably because they're mature enough to fall off. After all, they're turning colors. I cannot help but wonder where in the heck these things came from. Typically, when you have new weeds show up in your garden, it's because your neighbors have them. But I've never seen these before. So, that's interesting. They're really freaking sturdy. I was really curious just how big they would actually get. And I mean, these things were like really tall. Like, one of the largest weeds I've ever seen. You know, that's part of why I wasn't totally sure if it was actually a weed, you know? I mean, you know, privet trees, in my opinion, are weeds, but some people really like them, and privets actually do smell pretty good. It's just, you know, they are weeds. I think I've got one more spot where this is coming up somewhere else in the yard. I think I'm gonna have to go look around and see. This is the first year this thing has ever grown in my yard that I remember. I don't remember having seen it ever before. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty hollow on the inside of the stem, stalk, whatever. And I know, I've got a lot of weeds in my yard. I just don't need some new huge kind of weed trying to take things over. What I've got is already bad enough, you know? Okay, let's see if I can get around and pull up. Oh my gosh, look at the privet. Okay. I should cut down. I think Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands since supposedly this thing is toxic, and then I'm gonna come out with the weed cutter, the wire cutter, so that I can cut some things blocking my access to get into there. Okay. Something with that stuff. God, I've got so much crap to do all the damn time. Okay, okay. Behold, I now have access to the sprinkler spigot. Yay! This is not the front yard. Maybe I should call it front yard B. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna henceforth this area with the citrus garden I'm just gonna call it front yard B, because it is in the front half of the yard, so it should have that sort of dynamic because it's right by the house, but it's not immediately visible from the street. I do need to work on things that will drastically affect the property values, because my brother's made it pretty clear that in his opinion I shouldn't need more than 2 years to clean up this place on my own with no help, while working a 40-hour-a-week job and taking care of my mother, who is very needy. But then, of course, the 2-year deadline starts the moment she dies. Yep. Me staying any longer than that will be unreasonable and stealing his inheritance from his children. Deal with the privet coming back. I'm gonna grab the poison real quick, the stump killer. more heavy duty pruners for this. And, you know, if I sound bitter about my brother, you know, when I was, God, a month and a half after my 19th birthday, or maybe it was my 18th birthday. No, it was 19. I married the guy that is now my ex-husband and has been for quite some time. And not even a month after that, my mom went and revised her will, which she didn't even have one at that point in time, so she had her will made to make sure that I didn't inherit anything at all, because she hated the man that I married that much. And I get it. He was very much so a user, okay? But my divorce with that guy finalized over 15 years ago, and my mom only just had her will redone last year around Christmas time or so. And my brother flipped out and acted like I was stealing from him, you know? He acted like I was stealing from his kids. Meanwhile, he made it really clear that he was planning to kick me out within 2 years of our mother passing away and leave me with nothing at all after taking care of her for however long, you know? And he doesn't think to himself, maybe that would have been stealing from me, you know? So I'm trying to work on it with the house, but I am literally all by myself. I can barely get my son to assist in any way. Even stuff that he knows that I can't actually do, like electrical projects, which he does have some experience with, you know? And, my mom basically made it a provision of her new will to where I'm not even allowed to have a freaking boyfriend, if I wanted one. And my brother has the audacity to act like I freaking stole from him, The only thing I stole was the right to inherit half the value of the house. Instead of being left destitute and homeless just because my mom dies. Whenever that happens, hopefully no time soon. And I say destitute because I was apparently, expected to literally pay for all of the home improvements myself, so that, in 2 years' time, everything would be totally ready to sell. And then I would get not a penny of the sale value at all. Fortunately, my mom did make it a provision of her will that I can live here as long as I want. So this 2-year thing that he was going to do is off the table. But I can acknowledge the fact that it would be completely unreasonable of me to live here indefinitely. I get that, and I agree. But I mean, you guys have seen my yard. 2 years with me, the only one working on it? That's just not actually possible. At least, not since I have a job. Who knows? Maybe I'll lose my job in 2 years and suddenly have lots of free time. Maybe. I really hope not. I do need to be able to feed myself, even with being on a diet. Speaking of diets, I've lost over 25 pounds now. I'm feeling pretty good about that. It means that at least it's working. It also means that I was really freaking fat and I've still got a long ways to go. And eventually, I'm going to have to actually start working out with, weights and stuff. just dieting will only be effective for so long. What's nice about privet is, in theory, if you wanted to have like a tree limb farm so that you could, I don't know, make baskets or something, the limbs grow really straight from the main branch, so they would probably be really good for basket weaving. You know, for anybody that wanted to get into that sort of thing. That was the wrong one. That one was for the side. There we go. And, you know, I admit I would like to start doing some of these sorts of hobbies, like basket weaving, but I don't have time. I've got so much other stuff that I have to do that's more important, you know? And by the time that I have time for basket weaving, I will probably be moved out of here. And as much as I do love my various campsites in California, I've got to get the heck out of this state. You know, I can't leave until my mom is done and gone back home to the Lord. And, you know, hopefully by then my son will be ready in his life to move out of the state as well. Gosh, it's warm. It's just, I do really love visiting the redwood forests and the ocean. You know, that's definitely something that I'll miss, you know. But I mean, I can't stay in this place. The politicians seem to actually be serious about this reparations thing, and I've never had any slaves. You know, why the heck should I have to pay somebody when I've never owned anybody before? You know, why should I have to pay for it as if I had? It doesn't make any sense, and I understand it's just pandering to the victim Olympics. That is the whole woke culture. But God, I need to stop talking about this. I am an outdoor person. I don't want to start talking politics all the freaking time, although it will tick off my brother. And even though that guy saved my life by being my donor, these days I admit I do enjoy thinking about making him mad. can't help it. Not after I found out about that his 2-year plan. You know? And he wants me to buy him out in 2 years if I'm still here, when, I mean, this is really a project, you know? And plus, why the heck should I have to buy him out so that he can pay off his mortgage, you know? I mean, it's not my fault that he's spent so long in the last 6 years or whatever unemployed. That is not my fault. That's his fault. Oh well. I'm sure all of us have issues with our siblings. You know, here's a toast to all of the siblings that we cannot strangle until they understand, and we have to love them anyways. Here's a toast. And that was just water, because unlike my brother, I'm not an alcoholic. Unlike my brother, the only drugs that I've ever used are tobacco and cannabis. And I haven't smoked any cannabis since I was 18 years old. And yet my mom always thought that I was the bad kid. Which is why she cut me out of her will. I'm glad she changed her mind when she realized he wasn't going to come back from anywhere and take care of her. that's what this blue salvia looks like when it starts to get woody. I don't think I like it. It looks weird. I don't like it at all. It's kind of gross, actually. Looks almost like it's got aphids on there. Maybe it does. I need a belt. I need to put on a belt. I can reuse this somewhere. It's been in here who knows how long, and it's not broken. That's nice. Gosh, and I like totally aired like all this family dirty laundry. You guys are welcome. Everybody loves gossip. And my son has basically 2 weeks left on the deadline that he said he'd give himself for selling his little red car right there. But he hasn't said anything about it. Let's see. Do I want to... Well, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. But as soon as my son gets that little red car done, then we can have the trailer back there hauled off, and I can, in theory, start working on the backyard. trouble is I have not finished the two main projects that I really need to get done up front before I can start really working on the backyard. Those being getting the wrought iron fence repainted and getting the sidewalk and drain clean out finished leading up to the street, the pavement. I gotta get working on those, but I also don't want any more of this pokeweed whatever coming up anywhere else. I've got to hunt through the rest of the yard to look for if I got any more. I think I might have some in another spot. Whoa! That is freaking huge. You guys gotta see this. Okay. Oh, there's. So that is the root area of the pokeweed. It's, I mean, they're freaking huge. They were like 8 feet tall. Or it was 8 feet tall, I should say. It was until I started cutting on it. Okay, and while I'm back here, I'm gonna work on poisoning some of this privet, just because yeah. Oh goodness, this is like really actually freaking sturdy as heck. I'm gonna put stump killer on this. I don't know if I should try and dig it out. Okay, let's. In theory, that will very much be going overboard, but I don't want to have to deal with whatever the heck this crap is again. I don't want to have to deal with it coming back up either. And I'm gonna have to put stump killer on all of these little privets anyways. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that was why I was working out here. Let's show you what I did real quick. Then I gotta wash my hands again. Okay, the stump where the weed was is the stuff that's bright blue right there. That stuff. Okay, now that I got that thing taken care of and washed my hands, let's get a little bit of poison on to the privet. I should be wearing gloves, but, you know, I'm not. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. I'm not getting anything onto myself in theory. Okay, well, hopefully getting it onto those parts right there that I just cut will be enough to start it on a path of no return. And I'll do the same thing with this one, I think. I got you! Okay. And when I get the stump killer on there, in theory, I'll be able to like do something to like pry it out of the ground after it dies, in theory. Okay, gardenia is basically growing through this thing? I don't know. Yeah, gardenia is growing right next to this privet as well. Oh well. Okay. So, you guys can't tell, but in here, there is a bench down in, God, I think you can see the seed of it right there. It basically got eaten by a privet tree that decided to grow through it. And then this fence that my mom made with railroad ties right here decided to fall down. So I've got to get myself access to like get back here. But it's not quite as huge of a priority as my front yard projects yet, even though this is front B yard. Okay, I'm gonna just cut a few more things on the privet and then work on getting the ring lace hold on the privet branches. falling down, pants. I need to go put a belt on. Well, hopefully the stump killer works on that. Hopefully. Huh. I've got a fern in there that hasn't died. Wow. I haven't given the thing water in literally years. See? Look at that. That fern has not died. Wow. That is a hardy fern, I guess. Okay, so let's cut. Completely grown through that other fence right there. And I've got no idea what the heck it's even there for. God, this gardenia is really freaking leggy. I think I need to prune the heck out of this. Smells good though. I do love gardenias. Okay, there we go. I don't know what's going on in here. I think that's all salvia. Yeah. It used to be a fuchsia garden, but clearly not anymore. Now it's a garden of weeds and salvia with a bonus gardenia. Yeah. And a bonus fern. And a Japanese maple that's in the wrong place without its buddy. We used to have a Rose of Sharon, which, I mean, we do still have the Rose of Sharon, but my mom pruned the heck out of it. It used to grow like all the way from over there, and it gave shade to the Japanese maple because, you know, it was that big of a Rose of Sharon. But then she pruned the heck out of it, and it stopped giving shade to the Japanese maple, and now the Japanese maple is like severely sunburned, and it's just, it's really in the wrong place, but I don't have anywhere to move it to, you know, because I don't have anywhere that's like a shade garden. Okay. And that is just water. Plain old, unflavored water. Okay. Oh, I need to cut that. Okay, let's... Are you calling me? Okay. Is she going for the walk with you? Can I fit all of that in there? Maybe. I don't think I'll be able to not all of it anyway. Not until it's hung out in the sun to condense itself down a little bit. Dry out, condense down. Huh. Okay. If I got up there and doing it and to compact it, I don't know, I feel like if I did that, I would fall down. It all of it in. Okay. So I'm gonna go put this out in front of the truck so that it can get some sun and wilt all of these leaves down so that they stop taking up all of this space. And then I'll be able to close the lid fully. Should be enough for it to cook itself in the sun to condense down. What is going on with this? Does it need fertilizer? Okay, the soil does feel dry. which probably is not root rot if the soil feels dry. So maybe it needs some fertilizer. Huh. I guess I could try that. Okay. Morning. Okay. I've got no idea if that's gonna dissolve or not. Let's try and mix it up in some water. Let's move this. Okay. Hibiscus and a couple of rosemaries to plant today too. But I'm gonna give the salvia some fertilizer first. And hopefully that's what the problem is that's going on. Hopefully. really sure how to do it.
You're doing it.
Okay. Well, there's a whole bunch in the bottom of here, though.
Yeah, it's settled.
Okay. And I'll have to put more water in it. I don't know. Give what's settled down here to
Hibiscus.
something else. The hibiscus is blooming just fine. What's that? Oh. What?
Hose is all legally.
Yes. Okay, that is empty. And so is that. That one. Okay, the red oak over there. Okay. So I recently found out that you are apparently supposed to deadhead your salvia. I didn't know that. Now I do. Hopefully that will mean more blooming for the salvia. Because the hummingbirds definitely rely on it for food. Theory. brownie. Gosh, okay, there's you on there. That one, thank you too. That's not okay. Got a few on there that only have like one little flower left. Oh, I see it. And it does go to those new flowers in the hangers that I got, too. It does, yeah. It just went at them, but I was out here, so I think I was making it nervous. What is that? God, people leaving their trash in our yard? I bet this was from my son, actually. I bet my son left this trash in the yard. your sunscreen on, folks. That's really important. You only get one set of skin. You gotta protect it as best you can. Huh. I got sunscreen on that. Huh. And on
Brownies leaking out of the strawberry container.
that. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead and put water in a little bit more. And do the rest of that fertilizer. And then I gotta plant the hibiscuses. Let's fill these up. What? I can't hear you over the sound of the water running, Mom. You're gonna have to remember what you said or wanted to say and then say it when I get in there with you, okay? I know that you can do it.
Brownie does not like the fornicating backpack.
Okay? Okay, that was all of the fertilizer. Very good. It all came out. I don't know, maybe the cucumbers probably, I don't think that they need it, but that tomato, I think it does. Maybe a
I
couple-
think the cats fertilized the cucumbers.
Okay, Mom, I don't think pooping in the bed is fertilizer, actually.
No.
No. I'm gonna give the tomatoes some fertilizer too. And also check and see if those cucumbers that I was watching are ready for me to pick yet. Because there were two that looked like they might be ready today or tomorrow. I'm looking forward to those. Did you just ask me to call Brownie?
Yes.
Brownie! She's not a dog. She doesn't come when she's called. She's a cat. Well, Mom let the cat back in the house. But you know what? That cat went for a walk with her. You know? Okay, I just gave the tomato and nectarine in the pot, and also the bougainvillea, all some fertilizer. So now I've gotta plant my hibiscus that I got to put in with a lavender that into that pot instead, since I accidentally killed the lavender because I was overwatering it. I think it got root rot because the soil just didn't drain good enough, because I guess lavender likes sandy, well drained soil. Whatever. Got 3 of them coming up. Okay, I've got to show you guys this real quick. In this pot right here, you see these little sprouts right here? I've got 3 of them. Those are actually the loquats that I planted from seed. I planted some loquat seeds because our loquat tree that we had a loquat tree in the backyard, and it died in the very severe drought when nobody was watering it because somebody had cancer. So it died. Better it than me, in my opinion. But, you know, I like loquats. They're really tasty. They're extremely tart, you know. And I tried last year, with the permission of the neighbors, I picked a couple to see if I could get them to grow from seed. And I looked up how to do it after I had already eaten the little bit of fruit that I got and set the seeds aside. Okay, so apparently you are supposed to put the seeds in water as soon as you eat the fruit, so that the seeds don't dry out. And I didn't do that. I didn't know that the seeds were supposed to stay moist. But the person that on YouTube, whose name I cannot remember, he said that he has like a 90% success rate doing it that way, having the seeds be moist when he plants them. And I only had 4 seeds, and I've got 3 little seedlings coming up. So, I mean, for me, that's a 75% germination rate, at least. So we'll see if I can keep them going. If they, when they get a little bit bigger, I'll have to put them into their own pots instead of just all sharing a pot. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so let's not knock things over like usual. dead. Maybe it's not. Either way, I did get you know what? Into there so that I don't make a big huge mess. Mom,
Yeah.
what kind of soil do hibiscus like?
They like soil from Hawaii.
Sandy soil?
Volcanic.
Okay. So then are you saying that I don't have the right kind of soil for it? Do I need to mix sand in?
No.
God, I should do that since I think that's what killed the lavender. Okay, I'll do that. Let go of that. God, I put everything in my right back pocket.
Whammy, do you pull things out of your mommy's pocket?
That's not what I said, Mom.
Oh. Can you take me to get my toenails done today?
It's called a pedicure, Mom.
Okay.
Sure. Do you mind if I finish what I am doing before we do that, though?
Yeah, you go ahead.
You know what? Maybe I'll do it that way instead. shouldn't do that yet. Don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. Okay, there. I almost made things a lot harder for myself just now.
I think you almost make it harder.
By almost watering the rosemary in before I put it into its new saucer. So that would have made it a lot heavier and harder to move back into its spot. Because of being full of water. Okay, now I can water it. Okay, let's water all of these things right here. Oh, and Mom, remember in April I told you I picked exactly 4 loquat fruits and planted the seeds immediately after eating the fruit?
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 little seedlings coming up from planting those.
That's good.
I planted them in just plain cocoa core, nothing else. And I figured that would be a good idea because, you know, the guy that was talking about planting them right away, you know, he said that it's because the seeds have to stay moist. I figured that, you know, it would be good to plant them in cocoa core to stay moist because cocoa core holds a lot of water. There we go. Did I spray that one with... I don't know if I did. Okay. Let's give the hibiscus some oil too. Okay, so apparently I've got to go help my mom get her feet done before I can do any more garden projects.
I didn't say that.
in the grapes. Well, I guess I didn't really do any projects today. Just random crap. Random crap. I got my rosemary planted, and I'm really hoping it gets nice and big, and I do hope that the little bit I was able to do today inspires you. Have a good day.